Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with SouthernIndianaWeather.com, bringing you a quick forecast update here. We have had a kind of a wild past few days here, really, with fair amount of snow around the area, and a nice little surprise overachieving clipper for our neighbors down to the south in Kentucky. We got 3-4 inches. In several places here in southern Indiana, but they saw a nice little overachieving. The high-res data had suggested they didn't get much more than an inch down there, and they got several inches. Some places got, towards Paducah, got 7 and 8 inches. So a nice little surprise winter storm for them that the models just did not latch onto. It's been a while since we've had something like that around here. And we finally got that coming, but that's going to roll away, and it's in Kentucky right now, but it is moving off to the east as I put the GFS here in motion. Then you can sort of see that high pressure is going to come in over the next few days, be sort of large and in charge. That's going to allow for another very cold night across the area. We're going to warm up a little bit tomorrow to around 20 or so across the area. It's going to be another very cold day. And then we'll go down to the low teens for our low temperature again on Thursday morning. But then by Thursday, we're going to warm up again and finally be able to get warm up enough so that we can melt some of this ice and crud that's around the area here. Now, I don't see any snow for a little while. That certainly could change. High pressure stays large and in charge for us this week, but you'll notice by the weekend we've got something coming on here. By about Saturday night into Sunday morning, we have rain chances starting to increase with this cold front off to our west. Now, there are some snow chances up here to our north with this, but our snow chances in general are probably going to stay more like this up in here. Possibly some light snow for northern Indiana on the very back side of this system, but by and large, really nothing too much to worry about here. And there's what I mean, maybe just the tiniest little amount there. It's not going to amount to much. Now, with this, you notice, you're getting a pretty negatively tilted trough here, a little bit here, and you can see this sort of rolling through here, and as a result of that, I would watch for the potential for some stronger storms out of this. Now, it's not a given here, but we do have some pretty strong wind energy. If you just take a look at winds at about 4,000 feet up, well, they're cranking between 64 and even 80 knots up there. So we've certainly got plenty of wind energy in the atmosphere for whenever this does decide to move through. The problem is it's going to be a relative lack of instability. And so if I go back here and if I just click on one of the soundings here to give you an idea, these tell us some of our severe parameters. Well, just take a look at this. We're looking at absolutely no CAPE, no energy, convective available potential energy. Nothing like that around in the atmosphere to create some instability for this as a result. So because of that, I think the severe weather threat is really going to be limited with this. Now, we're still 5-6 days out from this, and so things could potentially change. We'll see, but I don't see it as being a major threat with this. But still, whenever you've got wind energy screaming through this kind of, sometimes that can make its own instability, if you will, and kind of overcompensate for some of those other things that just are lacking. So I wouldn't rule out some storms on the stronger side, but I don't see this as a major severe weather threat for us yet. Once that rolls off through, then we've got another little clipper system that's set to dive through next Wednesday. Now, the GFS has this largely to our north, but the Euro, once I show you this, you can see there's that rain for this weekend. And then once it comes through, it sort of follows up that clipper system with potentially some light snow for us with it around the area. So that's something that we're going to have to watch out for. There's a little bit of a model disagreement with this. This far out, usually the Euro is more trustable than what the GFS is. As I've said several times, I trust the GFS about as much as I trust Mexican tap water until it gets about a day or two into the range. So is there a possibility that we could get another little clipper snow out of this? Well, we'll put it on the back burner of thoughts and say that it's possible here. It's certainly not set in stone. We're 216 hours out on this, and so that's an incredibly long eternity in regards to the model world. But we'll have to see how things come in future runs. Just know that the possibility is there with this. And then as we go longer on, I show you the GFS again, because the GFS goes out a lot longer than what the Euro does. Euro only goes out to 240 hours. GFS goes out to 360, so you get an extra 5 days worth of things in there. And you can see we do have another big system here that the GFS is wanting to suggest as we get into about the 28th. And right now it is suggesting a rain to snow setup. Again, will that verify? I wouldn't get too excited about it yet. There's a signal rolling through it around that time. Our organic methods do suggest that. But other than that, I really can't say much for it. Odds always are more with rain around here than they are with snow. You know that, especially whenever you get temperatures that are looking like this. As you take a look at temperatures, the thaw is finally going to come on. We had a nice little January thaw before we got into this snowstorm, this winter storm that we saw on Friday. And then, of course, we followed up with that yesterday as well with some snow. But this one looks like it may stick around for a little while. A word of caution here, though. The Euro model has been suggesting that we go warm and stay warm for a good while, and then every time it does that, it backs off and puts us back down in. So I wouldn't put too much stock in this yet, but right now, after we get past this week, it does sort of look like we stay nice and warm for this time of the year. 40 is our average temperature, so 43 is pretty well normal, but when you're talking temperatures in the mid-50s to even near 50, that's pretty doggone good. A nice little warm-up around here. Now, again, I would caution this as you get further out in time. The data has been suggesting that we stay in an eastern United States ridge and that the trough sort of erodes. But as we get nearer in time to the data, then that kind of backs up and we get back to that troughing nature again. And so the long-term data isn't overly reliable right now. And so because of that, we can look at this and say, well, this might be nice if you want to warm up. I'm not sure that I believe how long this period is going to be. The good news is I don't see this, if you look at this, it's not like we're talking about mega warmth here. When your average high temperature is 40 and you're talking about 47, 39, 44, and temperatures around like that in the 10 days, you're looking at roughly seasonable kind of weather here. There is a chance that we could go back into the deep freeze as we get later on into the end of January, opening in February. I do think that's a real possibility again, but it's a little too far out. We will just have to see. For what it's worth, the Climate Prediction Center does have us in above normal temperatures here in the eastern half of the country, here in the 6 to 10 day period, and then also in the 8 to 14 day period as well. So they're kind of buying into this idea that the Euro is suggesting, and for now that's what the data says, so we'll work with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see those kind of back down to a little bit less of a strong signal as we get a little bit closer in time. Data is suggesting, by the way, that we enter a pretty wet period here as well, an above normal signal here in the 6 to 10 day and in the 8 to 14 day for our precipitation probabilities. So again, it's not going to be the deep freeze, but it does look some seasonable to just slightly above normal weather could be on the way for us. And as we take a look at the 7-day forecast then that I just put out here for the southern Indiana area, maybe some flurries or a light snow shower, a stray one around the area tomorrow. Not going to amount to anything, but we're looking for a high temperature in the low 20s around the area. Going back to single digits tonight and tomorrow night and probably Thursday night too. But look at this. We warm up finally above freezing for some of the area here on Thursday and then on Friday as well. But then look at the weekend. The rain comes in. You got a small chance there on Saturday. Most of the models bring this in as a Sunday, Monday event, becoming more widespread the later on you go into this. And of course, with temperatures in the 50s and rain coming down, that will wash away all of that snow. But for some of us that got a fairly good amount of snow, some of us across the area have 5 to 7 inches worth of snow depth on the ground right now. Once all of that melts, the rivers are certainly going to rise out of this. So rain is probably not what we need, but it looks like that's what we're going to get anyway. So if you're looking for a warm-up, well, hey, I've got it in the forecast. Not too bad. That's it for this update, folks. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite with SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Follow us on Twitter at SouthernINWX and follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/SouthernINWX as well. Take care and have a great day.